Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, the content that we have for you tonight is not just one state, which we're going to cover, but it translates and trickles down to every other state. And this fight that we have for our Second Amendment rights, which we're always doing on this channel every single night, everything is tied together like the fabric of the flag that we support. Just like our unison in the Second Amendment support going forward and passing it along to the next generation, every single little fight nationwide in all these little courts, judicial system, Supreme Court, legislature, federal system, it all ties together for an outcome, and that's what we're fighting. And this right here is a perfect example. Give me 5 minutes of your time. I'm going to walk you through this, share this out. Everything's in the description box below, and I want to hear what you guys think on this because this is a fight we need to be up on, and we need to be aware of what's going on. Subscribe so you can come back if you want to see more of this content, but let's dive in. So, we're going to dive to Washington State, way up in Washington State. State Supreme Court to hear case of Edmunds gun storage law. In February, an appeals panel said state law preempts the city from enacting its own firearm rules. Keep in mind, we're going to touch on two things in this video that are incredibly important. Preemption, which we covered a lot because it's crucial. But the other one is it's the state Supreme Court talking about firearm storage laws. If that sounds familiar, New Mexico is going through the process of maybe enacting these exact same things. Keep in mind, state supreme law in Washington, or Supreme Court of the state in Washington says, no, this is a no-go. Now you've got precedent in New Mexico where you can't do the same thing. Next stop, Supreme Court of the United States. This is an intricate fight, but let's dive in. I want to know what you guys think because this is important. Olympia. The city of Edmonds will get a chance to convince the state Supreme Court that its law prescribing how residents store their guns is legal. So this is an interesting fight because it's already been shut down twice. Check this out. The Edmunds law, passed in July 2018, required gun owners to keep their firearms locked up and inaccessible to others, especially children. It did not apply to firearms carried by or under the control of owners. It did apply to weapons kept at home and in vehicles. Now, this is something that's up in arms because you can't really mandate how we store our firearms, but it's a right. That's not a state responsibility. It's a personal one. But check this out because they got stuffed twice, and now it's going to the state Supreme Court, which has ramifications nationwide. The city law took effect in March 2019, but in October, Snoqualmie County Superior Court Judge Anita Ferris sided with residents and blocked its enforcement, and the city appealed. So it got one loss because it's unconstitutional, but they did it anyway. Here's the second one. In February, a 3-judge state appeals panel ruled unanimously that the city ordinance, regardless of its arguable benefits to public safety, is unambiguously preempted by state law and provisions of Initiative 1639, a gun safety measure passed by voters in November of 2018. It doesn't matter how arguably beneficial, it's still conflicted with the Constitution. That's incredibly important. Take that to New Mexico, Colorado, Florida. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why the fight is so intricate, and we focus on the why because everything is uniquely linked. Now, here's what's happening in March, and you're going to see a familiar player here. The city, in March, petitioned the High Court to review that decision, and a majority agreed to do so. Justices did not set a date for the hearing, and this part's the interesting part. Everytown Law, funded by the national nonprofit Everytown for Gun Safety, is leading the litigation on the city's behalf. Now, why would Bloomberg's National Gun Control Group give a rip about a state Supreme Court appeal about gun storage laws in one city in Washington? It's because this translates to their plan across the whole board. Just like the New York versus the Pistol Rifle Club situation where you can't carry a gun in public, it has ramifications across the board. This is a national plan that every town has had their hands in for years, almost decades. It's unraveling because the lawsuits are actually coming to fruition now, and they have to defend their illegitimate, unconstitutional position. That's why Everytown is diving into this. That's why you see Everytown USA in New Mexico. You see them in Florida. You see them in all these little incremental areas, but tied together, you see what they're doing. They're trying to enact their policies on local levels so they can pass it elsewhere and get gun control through the judicial system, not through the legislature. And that is something that's huge, and that's why I brought you this article tonight, because the Washington State Court, two courts have already stuffed it, and the third one is on its way to doing the same thing, because as they quoted, it's unambiguously preempted by state law. That preemption piece is crucial. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow morning on our bullet points. Till then, see you later.